Morning, everybody. Just have to say a few words. Different matter tonight for thought for today, because many of you in this area where I live have been attending a meeting in County Hall in relation to making a proposals which goes to the bishops, which is to bring up at Rome. Well, now I do it direct. So there's a lot of changes we know the church needs to make, and Pope Francis himself has asked the people to be quite blunt what you need. There's no point in saying you need something and something else. You can't change the thing if you hide it. But I do feel some changes that need to be made in the Roman Catholic Church. They need to leave open celibacy. Not necessarily, it doesn't mean that you all have to rush away to get married, because that's a vocation, a very tough vocation, but it could be left optional. And I would suggest that they make a priest honorary curates, like, say, for example, the Church of Ireland have, which could be a person that works at a job here. If he gets ordained, goes through the theological training, etc., he could be an honorary curate, maybe not in his own area or next parish, until continuous work. Now, I agree they're right, under 35 is a bit young taking anyone down, and if you do take, I appreciate if you ordain a married man, you have to be careful that the wife isn't working against him, and that is a big problem. So they're quite right when they're taken in for the diaconate to check with the wife to see are the suitors. But I think they could extend that further and ordain some priests, which would help out in the parishes where there's priests now overstrained running parishes, and it's no joke now with all the legislation and forms you have to fill in. I'm very sorry for yawning. So that's something that we have to think about when I'm thinking I yawn. Now, we all hear this married clergy. You could also have women priests, or women deacons at least. There's nothing wrong with a woman if it's a soul you ordain, and it's above sex. Like if you ordain a soul, when your body dies, your body goes into the earth to rise on the last day, we know that. But if the soul's ordained, what does it matter if it's male or female? If they're steering us to God, I see nothing wrong with it. But it's probably a big move when you have so many conservative men, cardinals in the Vatican. To get married priests an option would be something to deal with. Now, the homosexual thing, that's something has to be dealt with, because there's a lot of priests, I'm led to believe, that would be homosexual in the Roman Catholic Church. And I'm amazed at all the homosexual people that's around, because I thought it was only if you heard one or two in my peninsula. He wanted to be 30s and 40s. I thought it was like something that happened in America, because in Ireland I was probably in a sheltered life the way I was brought up. But I went as a mature student at the age of 36, so it means that I have different ideas now on what should be what. But I do feel, number one, the married clergy they must deal with. It's very good what they're having is the grouping of parishes together, but there is a problem with the grouping of parishes they do here. With some areas, with this vicar for in job, some parishes with one priest parish, too small of an area. And it is a problem to have all resources, because a lot of people have that many things on in the fire. Grouping parishes works well if you've got people, but I think you're going to have to focus on people that's semi-retired, or people about 55 years of age, because younger people are busted trying to pay mortgages and whatnot, things like that. The time may not be available. It's nice if you can get a young crowd on, but it's very stressing when you have to pull in kids and you don't get them to stay in this. But what we do need to strengthen, I've said about married priests, I've agreed that should be pushed on. We need to look at the family, and they very strongly support the family, traditional family of a mother and a mammy and a daddy. I think that's very important, and discipline in the family. It's very hard now for people to discipline the family, because moral seems to be just out the window. It's a big problem because you can't slap a child now, or you could be in trouble. You can't keep in trouble. If you have youngsters staying at home and 16, 17 and say they're staying out all night, what can you do? And I personally don't believe that talking, if you get past a certain age, talking's no good. It's like a peaceful march, it doesn't really get a lot. So the child probably goes away from home, you can't do anything. You might have a row with the wife, because there is a need for family relationships to develop. Because people have the pressure of working time now, and this liberal society we're in, you change the wife exchanging the car more or less. So you have a problem for not having a stable home to bring people up in the faith. You see, the married man and the wife years ago was a great thing for making the cost of production cheaper. If a man had to hire a wife to do all she do in the house, I'm talking about traditional wives, the women that would bake and all that business and fix the trousers. But now you've got it's more equal society. It's not just the bee's knees in my book. Now, regarding homosexuality, nobody can help what way they're born, and you have to accommodate them too. The church is a problem. Like I couldn't see. I'd sympathise with someone homosexual, but I don't know. It's a big problem to be born with, because when you're different in what's in the Bible, you know, man was made to create and procreate, and even like animals to procreate. That's what it's about. So you can't procreate in a marriage setup. If you haven't got kids, you can maybe adopt them, but what way they're going to be brought up, what way they're going to think, how they're going to conform in society, these are major problems. But I would be on for holding the marriage system very sacred, and we should try and encourage. I don't know how we're going to do it when you have a shortage of priests. Like, it's easy talking here, but we need more participation of those that are ordained by the order of Melchizedek. Anybody that's baptized is a priest in the order of Melchizedek. They are biblical priests, as we call them. But the ordained priest that comes from apostolic succession is a different level. And they want to be trained fairly well, because you're dealing with a very educated people now, not like, say, 30 years ago. People in Ireland don't believe in fairies much or things like that. So you have to be very careful. But you want to lead the people to God, to get to know God, Jesus Christ, and we need to get some priests. If we could get some of the married priests back that I'm not saying they all want to come back, that have left the church. The wives mightn't suit them coming, want them to come back. But it'd be a move if you could open the error a bit. But if you take a priest on about 60, it's old man, you know, you haven't much life to train him at over 60. The deacons, the training for the diacon of the Roman Catholic Church at 60, well, I think you could always leave it open if there's someone outstanding, because some people can live to be 90. People can die at less than 60. So I'd leave it open, but when you spend a lot of money and resources training someone, it is a big problem. I suppose ideally they'd love to get lads in about, say, 38, 40 years of age. But then knows who will be together with husband and wife the way things is going. There's people, say 6 years ago, they could have been very happy for 40 years together, and they're separating. So it's not an easy thing. It's easy being a priest to a certain extent if you're celibate, because you've no baggage to carry around with you, like a husband or a wife. So sorry for putting it as blunt as that. But you haven't baggage. But you have a lot of loneliness. It's a lonely life if you're not very busy and have occupied and you don't mix with people. It can be a very lonely life, the priesthood. The internet helps you to keep busy, things like that. But a man shouldn't live alone, even if you have a nice dog. I have a great dog, actually. But it's not an easy thing to do. But I'll sum up now what I'm saying, because I'm just opening out the tin of beans, or whatever you call it. Priests need to be, they need to allow married priests in what they'd call honorary curates. They wouldn't be able to switch them around like other men. To be, say for example, if a man was in Dundalk, well, he might work in a rural parish, Blackrock or somewhere not too far away. You wouldn't be putting him 50 mile away, because you wouldn't suit him with his job. He could do masses on Sundays and certain religious ceremonies. And the diaconate's going to have to be used more, because of funerals and things like that. Because it's not easy going to a funeral if you're not too good on your feet as a priest. Some graveyards are hard to walk to. As well as that, the liturgy's coming on well. It's very good, the involvement of community, but the grouping of parishes wants to be looked at in our archdiocese, because some of them aren't working. Like, take for example Lochgilly. There's very little activity there with their pastoral council. It's very hard, actually. It's easier said, you know, it's not easy if you're in the area. Some places don't mix as well. Cooley's a great area. I must have to admit, it's a great area here compared to some areas for getting on together. So they need to look again at the structure of these pastoral areas. Because if you are a not Episcopal vicar, we call it vicar for reign, and you have no curates, and somebody rings up to what Mass said, well, if you're RD parish, for example, you can be good, because you have probably an extra curate or two you can shove out. But if you're one priest parish and someone rings you, oh, someone died this morning, which did happen in one parish, I've mentioned no names, no priest, well, I was lucky an RD priest come. You see, you need to have priests on standby that can go to parishes and as well as saying Mass, there's an awful lot of administration. I feel the administration must go more over to the laity, because the administration and running a parish, you have to be a social worker as a priest, you have to be a bookkeeper. Oh, there's too much work in it. So that could be brought over to the people more, like the running of the parish and things like that. And I feel this is the general feeling of a lot of people. And there should be more democratic process. When you're getting a new parish priest, you should be able to have some say. And like, there is some priest that doesn't suit the area they're in, and if they can't mix with the people, there's a big problem. And it's not easy mixing with everybody. Some priests that suit in maybe in another parish that wouldn't suit and wouldn't mix with the people too well, you know. So these are things you need to look at. I'll come back on this later when I can speak on it and give them something more positive, because I'm thinking it out now what they should do. But it's all right, as I said, in a hurry saying marry clergy, but then you have a problem if they've kids and where the wife's working and all this type of thing. So you'd be better to have honorary clergy, the married clergy. These are priests maybe 45, they'll come back to you 50, they've been in the thing, and they'd be the easiest to get. But as I said, not every priest that's left the system will want to come back. So I'll leave with that thought, and any thoughts you have, if you bring them into the pastoral centre, I'm sure they'll be very welcomed in Dundalk, because they're looking for ideas from the general Catholic people. It's nice to help people and give ideas when you can, but I will be thinking out something more constructive from now. And may God bless each and every one of you, and in the name of the Father and of the Son, of the Holy Spirit, and I mean that from my heart. God bless you. If you're not even a Catholic faith, Orthodox, whatever you are, I'll ask God to bless you. Amen.